While Nigerians in most parts of the country eagerly awaited the governorship and state assembly election earlier scheduled for this Saturday, the Independent National Electoral Commission announced the exercise has been postponed to March the 18th. The postponement was due to the Commission's inability to promptly commence reconfiguration of the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System machines utilized during the February the 25th presidential election. INEC was earlier restrained from tampering with the information embedded in the beavers until due inspection was conducted and certified true copies issued to candidates who are challenging the outcome of the presidential election. Senior correspondent Femi Akonde has details.
After the Court of Appeals ruling granting the Independent National Electoral Commission permission to reconfigure the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System, it became almost clear that INEC will need more time to reconfigure more than 176,000 beavers. The Court of Appeal had granted the People's Democratic Party, the Labour Party and their respective candidates, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi's request to inspect all sensitive materials used in the conduct of the recent presidential election. The two opposition political parties rejected the election results, in which INEC declared the All Progressives Congress candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as winner. They called for the conduct of a fresh poll. They also approached the court seeking permission to inspect all sensitive materials and restrain INEC from tampering with them. But INEC approached the court on Monday to seek permission to reconfigure the beavers. This request was only granted on Wednesday, 2 days to the election. INEC says this approval to reconfigure the beavers has come far too late. The Electoral Commission will also need to be better prepared this time around in terms of logistics and other arrangements that will enhance the conduct of the election. But this is not the first time INEC will shift the date of an election. In 2015, the election was postponed by 6 weeks due to insecurity. In 2019, the current INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, announced a postponement of election with just less than 24 hours notice. The postponement of the Governorship and State House of Assembly election may have caused a bit of inconvenience and altered arrangements already been made to vote on Saturday. But it will also give candidates and political parties more time to campaign and canvass for votes. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
In Kaduna State, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Hafiz Inua, has warned that the police will not fold its arms and watch anyone disrupt the governorship and state assembly election, which have been rescheduled to hold on the 18th of March. He specifically warned that anyone seen carrying arms or snatching ballot boxes will be dealt with by the police. The DIG stated this in Kaduna State after a meeting with party representatives, religious leaders, and critical stakeholders. He called on them to advise their followers to conduct themselves in an orderly manner before, during, and after the election.
I want to assure you that additional security men are going to be posted to Kaduna in order to provide this security. We will not allow, and I repeat, we will be ruthless with anybody who decides to test our collective responsibility as a nation. This one, I am telling you, anybody we see carrying arms will be ruthless with that person or those group of people. And anybody who tries to do that, then he will have himself.
All right, let's get to Kaduna, where our correspondent Lupe Asom joins me now for updates on the situation there. Lupe, quickly give us a sense of what the security situation is stemming from what the DIG has said, and also how people are reacting to the postponement of the governorship election.
I must let our viewers know that the government is getting presidential election here in Kaduna, you can see that the environment is getting very tense. The margin is very little between the PDP and the APC. So of course, all political parties went back to the drawing board. They intensified their campaigns. They reached out to some of the communities where they lost, and they also reached out to some of the communities where they did well. And I can tell you that the environment was getting a little bit tense. Of course, there were concerns that some messages coming out from religious houses were also capable of inciting the people to even, or trying to hit up the polity unduly. So the Commissioner of Police, the DIG of Police steps in time to engage with these stakeholders, engage with religious leaders, engage with political party representatives, calling on them to warn their followers or encourage their followers to stay away from habits or attitudes capable of hitting up the polity and causing violence. So in his message, he said, look, the police is going to deal ruthlessly with anyone carrying arms. We asked him if there's going to be more deployment. He said, of course, that was already done. Recall that for the presidential election, over 16,000 police personnel were deployed to Kaduna. But then we spoke to the DIG yesterday, and although he didn't give us the exact figure, but he said additional police personnel were deployed to Kaduna to ensure that the outcome of the governorship and state assembly elections are very, very peaceful. So that is it. Of course, people were a little bit disappointed that the elections were postponed. Even the political parties, the postponement has brought a little disruption to their plans. They had reached out to several communities, and a lot of them were prepared for today. I spoke to a couple of people who said they were actually discouraged. But of course, there were another group of people who felt if the postponement of this election is going to bring about free and fair elections, then they felt that's the welcome idea. But that's the situation. It's a misreaction, actually. There are those who feel the election shouldn't have been postponed, and there are those who feel if the INEC needed to postpone the election to reconfigure these reverse machines to ensure a free and fair election, then they say it's a welcome development. So that's the situation here in Kaduna.
All right, thank you, Lupe, for that update. Let's move over now to Oyo State, where our correspondent Olaide Oyewole is standing by to also bring us up to speed with reactions with regards to the postponement of the governorship election. Olaide, if you can hear me, what are the reactions you're getting, and then what is also the security situation in the state?
Veronica, I can confirm to you that there are mixed reactions as regards the development in Oyo State. Some people believe that the decision is coming at a time where they just want the election to come and go so that they can go back to their, normal way of life. But then some others also believe that the election, others also believe that we cannot rule out the fact that INEC needs to be given more time to plan for the election so that we can avoid the controversies that we are facing now after the presidential election. But then ultimately, the people are concerned because the rescheduling of the election is going to affect their social life, especially for those who have ceremonies to attend on that day, those who need to attend very important, functions on that day. So they're so concerned that that is going to affect them. In fact, I have one of your residents here who wants to tell us, Henry, can you please talk to us? How is this postponement of election going to affect you?
Well, it has adversely affected me, no doubt, and I'm sure it has affected a lot of people as well. Because, as at yesterday, midday, everyone, most people who are voters, eligible voters, are in high spirit. They were, ready and enthusiastic about tomorrow to come and then for them to go out there and exercise their right. But then, considering the plans and everything, I have a family function that had been postponed for a number of times, and it was eventually scheduled to happen by next week, Saturday precisely. But with this INEC postponement, it means it is going to affect the family engagement. And then considering the money, the resources and energy that was put into planning of that event, everything has gone down into a serious mess.
Okay.
Because as it is now, it looks to me, particularly because I am very pained, it looks to me like INEC is deploying a try and error approach, because all along INEC should have known the capacity and the functionality of these givers to tell us that after the presidential National Assembly election, there was going to be an issue like this, so that people would be prepared ahead. But there was nothing of such. And then just when we had the National Assembly election and presidential election, and hoping to go into the governorship election, this is coming up. This appears to me like a try and error approach, and it is not good for our electoral process. I think INEC should do better, because the expectations of Nigerians towards INEC was higher than what we're getting at the moment. All
right, that is Henry expressing his disappointment on the recent decision by the INEC to reschedule the election. Veronica, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you. Olaide Oyewole speaking from Oyo State. Their reactions to the postponement of the governorship and state assembly election.